Welcome back to The Founder. I'm your host, Tasha Sejal. Today with me, I have the founder of Athlete Unleashed. How are you doing, Bilal?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay. Now, we're in a different time right now. The founder is completely different considering the whole pandemic and everything that's been going on. We're trying to help out businesses, small or big, as much as we can to boom the economy somehow. Tell us about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, so basically what we do is we are what we call a training gym. So a training gym is a little different to a commercial gym. So where all sessions that happen in the gym are on appointment basis. And every athlete or adult who comes into the gym, they get a program which is specific to their fitness level, as well as they are coached to do all exercises safely and correctly. So our philosophy is you could basically train in the best gym in the world, but if you do not have a good coach to show you to do the exercises safely with great technique, you're going to get injured. So the whole purpose of fitness and wellness is better health, staying injury free, and even when you grow up that you could even play cricket with your grandkids.
Yes.
So for that, particularly beginners, I'm not talking about the more experienced people who exercise. They need really, really good coaching and a program which is specific to their fitness level. So that's what we cater to, and we cater to the adult population as well as athletes who want to improve in their sport.
Okay. And when did you guys start the
So we actually incorporated in 2014. We started the company. It was with one of my good friends, Shana Kamara Singh, and myself, who's a lawyer. So we founded the company together. He's not very involved with the company anymore just because of his official commitments. So it's me and a couple of my coaches who now run it. But we started in 2014 with just a 400 square foot gym.
Nice, okay.
And we have now progressed to a gym which is around close to 2,000 square feet.
Wow, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. Now, let's talk about the pandemic right now. A lot of businesses have pretty much stopped and in a standstill, and gyms also were one of the most affected industries. How was business for you considering the pandemic?
Yeah, obviously there was definitely a dip, right? I mean, it's very hard to sustain that level of revenue and turnover during the pandemic. But one thing we really focused hard was during the lockdown was a client retention strategy.
Okay.
I think we tried to move away from going hard on advertising and trying to attract new clients. We just wanted to keep our current clientele happy,
yes.
keeping them moving and keeping them fit. So we knew whenever this blows over and they're ready to come back to the gym,
yes,
they would still have not lost a lot of fitness and the gains they have achieved over the years, over the months, etc. So what we straight away did is we started having some Zoom classes for our athletes as well as our adult clients. Majority of them enrolled for those classes, and it was actually quite successful.
Oh, good.
And some of them who are unable to make it, or they just said Zoom classes is not for us. We had written programs sent out to them and they were working out on their own.
Oh, that's good. That's a really good job.
Yes, so that was the strategy we used, and it was, I think, quite effective. And I think most people are, there was not too much of a deterioration in their fitness level. And one more thing we did is we actually lent out equipment to our clients and athletes as well.
Oh, wow.
In April. So because some of them are used to using dumbbells, particular types of equipment, so we lent out equipment to all our clients free of charge. So just as a way of, people are going through so much anxiety, and it's a time like this where we need to help out each other.
Actually, yes, and working out does help too.
Definitely. So so those were just some of the simple strategies we did, and I think it was quite successful how we managed it.
Good, and that's really good to know. I mean, I feel like a lot of people in that way started taking care of their health even at home as well. So let's take it all the way back, initial stages of your company. Why, have you always wanted to start a gym, or where did the inspiration really come from?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question. So actually, when I finished school, I followed a degree in business management, worked in a couple of corporate companies, but for some reason I just felt it didn't resonate with me. Sort of the 8:30 to 5 job, being in front of a computer, for some reason didn't resonate with me. Having played rugby for school, you're used to being out on the field at 3 o'clock in the afternoon after school, and even during school we're probably out on the field playing cricket. So after a couple of years, once I finished my bachelor's degree working in the corporate sector, I just felt for some reason it wasn't my cup of tea. So I was also coaching Royal College on a part-time basis while working in the companies, and I really enjoyed my rugby coaching. So that's something I thought, I would really, really love to do as a full-time career. And I progressed quite well, and I coached the Royal College senior team, coached St. Joseph's, coached CRNFC. So I just enjoy trying to make athletes and rugby players and people better. So I think I did that right up till 2014 as a professional rugby coach. But also, unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, the job security being a rugby coach is not great. So that's where actually my friend Shanaka, who's also sort of a keen rugby enthusiast, told me, hey Machang, why don't we set up something like this where we could cater to even the general population and diversify your skills to other sports as well.
Yeah.
So that's how it all began in 2014. We initially just started purely focusing on trying to train athletes. But we were very quick to realize in the first 6 months that if the business was to sustain, we need to reach out to the general population as well.
Yeah.
Because while there is a demand for athletes to get better and improve, still I think Sri Lanka is not at that stage where they understand the importance of how what we say strength and conditioning
I understand, yes.
improve sports performance. But the adult population, everyone wants to look good, lose weight, stay lean.
Oh, wow.
So that's basically the cash
Yeah.
cow. So we were very quick to move to the adult market as well. And I would say currently probably our client ratio is, we've got probably about 70% of adults.
Okay.
And the other 30% are sports athletes.
Oh, right.
So it's
okay.
interesting, even though we started specifically to improve athletes and improve their performance, we've sort of moved in a bit more towards the fat loss side and just health and wellness. But we also continue to train some high-performing sportsmen as well.
Okay, that's an amazing success story as well. Now initially, like, was it hard? Were there any challenges that you faced to get you to where you are right now?
Well, I mean, I think initially, obviously, bringing in clients is always going to be a challenge. But again, that's where I think my friend Shanak was instrumental, So he's a sort of a social animal. He knew so many people, his friends saying,
Yes.
hey, we started this place, why don't you come in? So we had, to be honest, I think we are blessed that way. It was really not too hard because I think we would have in our first month, we may have just attracted about 10 clients. But from there, it just grew because word of mouth has been our strongest marketing tool. And I would say even currently, 90% of the clients who are training at AU have just been purely through current members recommending us.
Okay.
And it has just grown. And I would probably say in the 6 years we have been in business, just the hardest time has been the 3 months in lockdown. But I think
exactly.
we
But you
also
guys, you
handled
found
it fairly well.
yes, you found a little bit of a silver lining there as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because with the Zoom classes, we just purely focused on client retention. And I just think some people just missed the bus. Because I just saw some in various industries. I think it was a sort of a sense of desperation and panic. We saw people in various industries ramping up their social media marketing, trying to attract more clients. And at that stage, it was probably the worst time to get new clients in any industry. Because obviously people are going to be on the back foot, right? With regard to spending, finances are tough.
True, exactly.
So client retention was the key, and I think we handled that quite well during that situation.
Okay, I'm glad to know that. And now, of course, when it comes to your business, you've been doing it for pretty much a little bit more than 6 years, maybe?
Close to 6 years.
Close to 6 years, okay. What has there ever been a hardest decision that you had to make?
Yes, actually, that's an interesting question. I think 1 year ago, I had to fire one of my probably my longest serving fitness coaches, just purely because he was unable to maintain discipline and stay with the core values of the organization. It was one of the hardest and toughest decisions I had to do. But I would say it was also one of the best decisions I made, because ever since we made that tough decision, business has once again improved tremendously compared to before. So sometimes soon as you see employees, this is just personally my theory, soon as you see an employee who feels they're invincible, the organization cannot survive without them, and they are sort of dictating terms to the management, it's time to probably have a good word, a good chat with them and say, hey, things are not going according to plan. speak it out. Obviously, you do not want to have a sort of a hire and fire
Yes.
mentality.
Yeah.
But then if it's not going to be a fit, moving on, it's time to show them the door and bring in people with better expertise. So that's probably, I would say, one of the toughest decisions I had to make, but I think it was also one of the best decisions I made, because business-wise things have got a lot better over the 1 year after I had to do that.
Okay, so let's talk about the name of your gym. How did you come about it?
Yeah, to be honest, actually, I cannot quite remember.
You can't-
But so, as I said, originally we wanted to start just focusing on improving sports performance.
Yes.
So the word athlete was obviously a obvious choice. The word unleashed, I think, we're just racking my brains what
Athlete
to
Unleashed.
do.
It's pretty catchy. I should
Yes,
say.
exactly. So it was, I think, unleashed is just improving performance, right?
Exactly.
So that's, I think maybe I actually cannot remember how the word unleash came, but I think it was just a light bulb moment. One day the word athlete and
Yes.
unleashed merged together.
It kind of like sparks something in your brain. When I first saw it as well, like I was like, wow, that's the kind of feel that you get out of it. So I was just curious.
I mean, it was originally done purely focusing on trying to attract the athlete
athletes,
market.
right.
But since since our clientele has started to be more dominant with the adult training population, I have toyed even with the idea whether we need to change the name. But I've just actually discussed this even with some of my clients, saying, what do you think? Do you think we need to make it a little more like general population specific? But their views were, no, it's a great name. It sort of creates a sense of curiosity, which makes people want to know.
Like anyone could be an athlete.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so actually our tagline is train like an athlete.
Right. There
So
you go. Okay.
athletes train to get better, to improve performance and stay injury free, and that's exactly how you want adults to train as well.
Yeah, true. That's
so
true.
we stuck with that name, but exactly how I came up with that name, I cannot remember.
Tell me about your programs, Bilal. What is currently going on?
Yeah, so currently, so we actually resumed operations on June 8th.
Oh, okay. Good job. Congratulations.
But we are operating with obviously the social meter, social distancing rules. We originally used to train about 10 clients at a time in the gym.
Okay.
And government directives have been about 1 to 1.5 meter distancing, but just for June we made it about 5 meters just to make clients more at ease.
Okay.
So for June we've had half of our clientele still opting for the Zoom training.
Zoom. Okay, that's good.
And the other half training at the gym. But we're expecting most of them to come back in July. So that's how we operate. Did I answer your question, or were you asking something with regard to what we offer?
Yeah, pretty much. I just wanted to know how you guys are conducting the programs right now.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So basically, our gym caters to anyone. You could be a person who has never exercised in your life, never participated in some active sports, and we will draw up the program, which is again specific to your fitness level. Or you could be a hardcore fitness nut who has trained for 5 years. We will write the program to your fitness level.
Okay.
We have kids who are 10 years old and adults who are up to 65 years old who train in a gym. So the reality is everyone can train, but the art of the coach or the organization is writing a program which is specific to that person's fitness
level and their body type and all of that.
So, and what we train is we train with a philosophy of what you call functional fitness. So functional fitness is basically efficient movement of the body.
Yes.
And we have so far have a 0% injury rate anyone training the gym.
Okay, that's
and the whole idea we follow strength and conditioning programs or fitness programs is to actually keep people injury free, not to injure them.
Yeah.
So I think our record has been pretty good in that aspect.
Okay.
And functional fitness or functional training means efficient movement of the body, as I said. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's how we do, and we just continue to progress people from there.
Okay, and do you advise clients on the diet plans and stuff like that?
Yes. So how we do it is we are not qualified nutritionists, so we know what we don't know.
Okay.
But what we do is we offer clients nutrition guidelines, nutrition habits, what they should do. So sometimes, if you take the subject of fat loss, it's not very hard. I think everyone really knows how to lose fat. But the tough part is compliance.
Consistency.
So we try to cultivate good habits and things like that. But we also draw on the expertise of a nutritionist who could, if someone wants some more specific advice, if they've got any underlying medical condition, we divert them to our nutritionist Hananias, so she helps us with the nutrition programs. But what we do is we offer guidelines, but we don't get too specific into nutrition plans, because that is out of our scope of practice.
Okay.
So it's very important, I think, also when you're a fitness coach, to know what you know and know what you don't know. That is very important.
Yeah, that's good. And like when you guys initially started, once again going back, was financing any difficult? Did you rely on banks at any point?
Yeah, so I think when we started, we like I told you, our first gym was just basically a room, 400 square feet. We went with the brick by brick approach. So we tried to not go for any financing from banks. Basically, Shanaka and myself, we just put in whatever money we had, and we started from there. So far for 6 years, we haven't gone with any loans. A lot of the money I earned as a rugby coach, which was put into savings, I pumped it back into the business. He pumped it from his other career revenues.
Yes.
So purely it's just been through our earnings initially in our careers, which we put back into the business, because sometimes you want mental peace and you want to be able to sleep sleep at night. So I think so far we have not gone for any bank loans. We've just purely done it with our revenue.
So Bilal, you've been in this industry for quite a long time, and obviously there's so many fitness coaches out there. And if I was a person to look for a fitness coach, how would you really assess the credibility of one?
Well, I think obviously the first thing is you've got to do your research, right?
Okay.
So it's very hard for a layman to discern, looking at social media, who's a good coach, what's the best program for me, etc. So the research, I would say, is very simple. Is first of all, check how long that coach has been training clients. I think another thing is the Instagram page would say a lot is, are they training themselves more than they actually training clients?
Yes.
Another way is to check, do they inflate their qualifications and experience? And also, are they 100% dedicated to their profession? I think I recently bumped into one fitness coach just on social media. I just was scrolling and I saw it. He claimed to be a fitness coach, a nutritionist, accountant, a life coach, and a religious advisor. So if you have someone like that who's a jack of all trades, master of none, you definitely know it's a no-no.
Because it's really hard, obviously, to look for a coach that suits you. I mean, I've been through this so many times, so many gyms that I've joined in as well. It's really hard to find that coach that can give you what you need.
Yes.
And you can't really select, because you don't know when they have all those qualifications on the Instagram page. Like, what are you supposed to go for?
Exactly. It's like I said, anyone could inflate their experience and qualifications, right, on social media. And sometimes actually until you experience their training, it's very hard to discern, because it's like an airline, right? Until you fly on that plane, you cannot still measure the quality of service. But before you actually take that first step, those are some of the first things you could do. Is that person really dedicated to that industry? Like I said, is he claiming to be an expert in 5 different areas of life?
So that's something that you have to stay away from.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. That's definitely a black mark, and it's just something probably to just get popular or just trying to get very successful. And we know life is not that easy.
Yeah.
So if you have someone who, again, like I said, claims to be a fitness coach, claims to be a nutritionist, accountant, a religious preacher, and that sort of thing, it's definitely a black mark, because they're not totally dedicated to their profession. So that's, I think that is very, very important. But also,
and try it out as well.
Yeah,
right?
also try it out, and also check on their experience and their track record. How long have they been doing it?
Right.
Have they just started the organization, or have they got a track record of training clients for a long time? Those are all things you could gauge. So I think it's very important also to do the research, because one thing that happens is, if you're a person who has never trained in fitness, and you get a really bad fitness coach, that could scar you for life, because the second time you may have a really good fitness coach.
It's true, because I've been through it myself, and I feel like a lot of people have.
Exactly, because they say you don't want a coach who basically smashes you up on the first session. You want a coach who makes you better.
Yeah.
So it's a very hard thing to do, but I really feel if you really scan a person's social media page or the organization's social media page, it says a lot. Are they totally dedicated to their profession? And if you're a smart person, you can really discern from the questions you ask them, like, is it a person who has just got an online qualification and basically talks as though he's got a degree,
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, degree in exercise
I
science or a
understand.
PhD in exercise science, or has he gone through 10 years of experience before preaching fitness, fitness hacks and stuff like
Yes.
that. So those are little things you could do before actually taking the first step to finding a fitness coach. And more often than not, I think if you follow that sort of thought process or that sort of research, you would be probably safe.
Okay, thanks for the advice. And talking about, now that we're on the topic, talking about people who want to come up in this day and age, and people who want to start their own thing, the new startups out there, and maybe it's a gym, just like you. What kind of advice that you could give them that could actually bring them up and encourage them to do what they can?
Yeah, I think it's very important, first of all, to find what your passion is.
Yes.
You may want to be on your own, but if you don't have a passion in what you do, it's not going to last. So first step I would say is find what your passion is, and what is it something that you would actually do for free.
Okay.
So I would say rugby coaching was my biggest passion.
Okay.
And I would still say strength and conditioning is a close second.
Mm-hmm.
So rugby, when I started coaching my school, when I finished playing for Royal College, the first 6-7 years of my coaching, I just coached for free. I was actually offered salaries, but I said, hey, no, I love doing this. I have a corporate job. I'm just going to coach for free. So first of all, you've got to find something that you would even do for free.
For free,
Obviously,
okay.
we
It's a
need to put
passion,
food on the
right?
table.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is we've got to find our passion.
Passion.
So once you find your passion, then I would say is if you do not have the support systems, try to go and work for an organization for 3 to 5 years, learn those skills, learn more about that industry. And then after 3 to 5 years, once you have, if you feel you're ready and you've got the expertise, you've got the finances in order, then it's time to step out.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's very important to remember that when you leave an organization, you explain to your higher ups, you thank them for their support, and then do it. And sometimes we also which needs to borderline on business ethics. If you're working in a particular industry, you do not want to go and start an organization next door. You want to probably start somewhere else because you've got to show some gratitude to that organization.
Exactly.
So gratitude also is a very important thing, but I think if you just follow those steps, I think you would be safe. And there's nothing guaranteed. You just got to give it all.
Okay. I'm also curious, who do you look up to, Bilal? Like, is there a founder in particular that you would one day want to have dinner with, supposedly?
Yeah, actually, that's a interesting question. So I would say in rugby coaching, it would be Eddie Jones, who's the current head coach of England.
Mm-hmm.
And in the fitness industry, 75% of our training philosophy at our gym is based on his training philosophy. Is a guy called Mike Boyle in the USA.
Okay.
So those would be two people. They may be new names to you.
International, yes. I've heard of it. Yeah.
So in the rugby industry, rugby coaching, it would definitely be Eddie Jones.
Yes.
And in the fitness industry, it would be Mike Boyle for sure.
Mike Boyle. Okay. And this next question is actually coming out from our wonderful venue sponsor. It's called the Colombo Cooperative, as you know it. They're all about providing these modern workspaces for companies of all sizes. They provide these services for companies small to big. And, this question is about your value, your number one value in business and in life. What would that be?
I would say one thing is honesty and integrity, and also, which is very important, and to work with people who have those two qualities. And also, when you're hiring people to your organization, try to look for those two qualities. One very important thing we look for is when we hire people is before we look at their qualifications, we try to look at their character.
Yeah.
How long have they stayed in an organization? Have they got good recommendations from their bosses before they leave? Those sort of things go a long way, because it's easy to coach skills, impart knowledge, but it's hard to coach character and personality, because that is what your parents give you.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would say character, integrity are two very important qualities I would look for, and in my philosophy as well.
All right, thank you very much. And if there's anyone out there who wants to start training with you, so wants to join your programs, how can they do that?
Yes, so you could just access our social media platforms and our website. Our website is very simple. It's athleteunleash.lk. Our Instagram is Athlete Unleashed, very simple. So you can just get in touch with us and we'll be happy to help.
Yes, I feel like I'll be one of those clients.
You're welcome
too.
anytime.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Bilal. I wish you all the very best of luck for your future endeavors.
Thanks a lot, and thanks a lot for inviting me.